Hmm. All right, so Trump is not a buy. Got all to 1522. All right, so we're not going to take this one only because my broker's about to delist it. So no point getting into that. Got Tron 2806, so we'll take that. It's a 3.2 risk. Entry at 2870. Stop at 2890. And 2806. That's 464 pips. All right. First call of the night. We got Tron versus Tether. Entry price is 0.280870. Stop loss is 2890 for 20 pips. Take profit is 0.2806 for 64 pips. And a risk reward ratio of 3.20. Edit that. Perp versus Tether, targeting 1260. I really don't know where it's coming from. Literally don't see this anywhere. So I think I may have added that particular signal when it was just straight up wrong. Sorry about that. Looks like I added a symbol that wasn't on my broker. All right, so this is HG1. It's kind of moved on from us. I don't like the way that's moving. So we're not going to take that. And if we're already in, and just reverse on us, it'll turn back. So with that, we're caught up for the evening. Everything kind of bought up. This is strange. Let's figure out what's going on. First of all, let's take a look at news. And we'll kind of demystify what's going on in the market right now. So for today, at 7:30, we get for the Canadian dollar, and that's the only major news. A couple of members of the Federal Reserve are speaking today. We got commentary by the president of the German central bank at 6 a.m. Okay. Bitcoin dominance is down. Ethereum versus Bitcoin is up, which explains why there's this massive run on altcoins. We talked about that last night. Okay. So my question now is this market wide? For the most part, it is. So most of the market's up on Bitcoin dominance going down and Ethereum versus Bitcoin going up. And there's no break out of the Asia range by Bitcoin. Pretty strange to see, but we'll take it. Take a look at commodities. Precious metals are up. Natural gas is down. That might give us a re-entry, but we need price to be back down here or so to expect that to happen. It's unlikely today. No big moves on futures. Okay. Indices are barely up. No big moves on exotics. Two kind of big moves on Forex. Both of them are involving New Zealand dollar. Okay. No, it's the strangest damn thing. And with Bitcoin not moving, that means that our biggest one in profit is still Ripple. So we'll take a look at that. Should be on the 30-minute. And it really has not moved since we were on it last night. So this feels like a setup for a liquidity grab. If it doesn't happen today, it'll definitely happen over the weekend where we're going to have a dump off of cryptocurrency again. A big one. There's no reason why cryptocurrency should be rallying right now. At any rate, we're going to fall into a 15-minute pacing of calls to get in and out of the market. It's now 2:20 in the morning. Next opportunity to enter the market will be at 2:25 a.m. That's for the futures market. And at 2:30 a.m. for the market proper. That's everything else other than futures. We'll continue that pace until 4 a.m. It's another call on Euro SEC. It's a long, but I don't believe we're in Euro SEC for a buy, and we are not. So we'll be ignoring that particular signal. So unlike last night, we really don't have a fast start for the night, just one call. And now we wait. The very not so sexy part of trading. So we got consolidation between two different order blocks. That's not going anywhere. Question is, do we see the same thing with Bitcoin? For the most part, we do. So if there's more room, that's at 104,100. Okay. It's below a sell order block, so that's not going anywhere either. Which could mean over the weekend we're looking at a sell-off down to 93,500. It's just going to take some effort to get there, but yeah. So it could fall out of the Asian range to 97,900. It's 900 points less than where it dropped to earlier this week, around this area. So that's possible. Relatively weak support here. That's still below the zone from earlier this week. So yeah, we're looking at a scenario where if this weak support drops out of Bitcoin, we're looking at a pretty significant drop over the weekend. It could go down as far as 7,000 points. So imagine Bitcoin kind of breaking 95,000 out of nowhere. And all this is being caused by retail traders who don't know what they're doing. They keep trying to short Bitcoin. So what the institutional traders are doing is they're pumping in liquidity into the market to make the price go up, which makes people think they can short it again. And then they go and grab the liquidity and liquidate all those traders. Now they have the power of all that money to drive price back up again. This is not a buy rally. This feels like a rug pull waiting to happen. The fundamentals are in play for Bitcoin to be rallying, but the way this is supposed to work is that Bitcoin declines in price. That's number one. Number two, we see a decline of Bitcoin dominance. Number three, we see a rise of Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Why? Because Ethereum is a primary cryptocurrency that's used as gas to purchase altcoins. And what we see instead is Bitcoin is going up, Bitcoin dominance is down, Ethereum is up versus Bitcoin. And that's not normally what happens when you see the market rallying, which is why I think we're in the queue for a pretty big reversal. This is going to get ugly. So we're going to be very careful of avoiding any longs right now. A little over a minute left to go to the middle of the hour, 2:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. In a second, I'm going to go turn off this air conditioner. It is freezing in my house right now. Yeah. It's going to take TradingView about 3 minutes to go through all the assets that we trade. And if it doesn't give us anything, then we'll be looking at 2:45 a.m. for the next entry into the market. It's been very fast paced all week. So today may be slower than usual. We do have one signal. That's a sell on Tron versus USDT. I do see a slow drip of market reversal. Take a look at market cap for the day. So this is cryptobubbles.net. It's a pretty good tool. What it does is that dynamically traps the movement of Bitcoin and other markets. These are the top 100. And this is the movement of market cap for the entire last 24 hours. And as you can see, money is moving out of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple and Solana. You normally do not see money moving out of these cryptocurrencies at the same time as the cryptocurrencies come out. As the cryptocurrencies gain value, normally cash outflows mean that cryptocurrency is about to drop. So just use this as a precursor for the notion that when the bottom falls out of this thing, it's going to fall fast. The money moves first, then price moves. So that's for the month. We want the day. Yeah, this is where it's at. And notice you don't see any movement from any of this stuff. So the wells and the institutions have already moved their money. And yet price is still fluctuating a little bit upwards, or at least it's flashing as a buy for the day. So when New York opens at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, you're going to see a bloodbath. Just be ready for it and don't get caught by it. In the last hour, you see a lot of money flowing into altcoins. Notice you don't see any major coins on this list. This is all altcoins. So if you go back and you look at it, people have taken money out of Bitcoin. They bought Ethereum. Money went out of Ethereum. And in the last hour, it's showing it's flowing in altcoins. You see what the altcoins are. This is just the top 100. This one, AIA, 651% increase in liquidity in the last 24 hours. They're trying to pump this coin. To a lesser degree, you see it for FIL and ICP. All three of these involve tech. Same thing. This is for the last week. Look at that. 1,129% liquidity increase for this coin. So we're going to go take a look at that one. Just to be instructive here. Let's go ahead and add this to look at it. What's that? AIA, USDT. So this is AIA versus Tether. And it is up 71% today. They took this from $1.80 and it's now trading at $12.54 and climbing. Let that sink in. A 1,200% increase in what? from here. They did this in a little over a day. Let's take a look at the price range. A 573% increase in price in one day. And again, you can see the play. I mean, just look at it. Interesting work. Very interesting. So anyway, we're going to move back to XRP. Sit on that bad boy for right now. Always follow the money with crypto. That's the one thing the institutions can't hide because everything is public. They always move the money before they make a move. Hmm. That was yesterday. Look at how tight the movement on Tether has gotten. That's not usual either. This is going to be bad. And Tether's flashing downtrend. This is all BGA. On every time frame. I want you guys to pay very close attention to right here. That hasn't been filled yet. It's going to take a major event for something like that to happen. I can see two scenarios where this happens. Number one, people realize that the U.S. government is not going to reopen until sometime in 2026, which seems likely at this point. Or number two, the federal government does reopen and we get up getting a reaction in the other direction. Now, this would require Tether to strengthen versus the US dollar. What does that mean? Well, if Tether is strong, that means that Bitcoin, at least the perpetuals, are going to get blasted. Imagine a move like this. And this was the day that President Trump announced the additional 100% tariffs on the People's Republic of China. That one announcement. And in the span of an hour and 4 minutes, Bitcoin went from 111,000 to 102,000 even. We had double-digit losses across every cryptocurrency, with the exception of a few that went positive. Your spidey senses should be going off. Like, there's something wrong here. Very wrong with the fundamentals. You do not, and I repeat, you do not normally see an increase in Bitcoin at the same time as a decrease in Bitcoin dominance and an increase in Ethereum versus Bitcoin, where Tether isn't moving at all. What that normally is supposed to show, like, is consolidation. And we don't see consolidation. Price is clearly moving up and down across the market. At any rate, we've got a little over 30 seconds left to go to 245. Hopefully we get some action. It's been pretty quiet this morning. And just like that, got two signals so far. All right, Tron is flagging a 15-minute sell, so we may get into that. It's not going to flag off until the top of the hour at 3 a.m. And we have another entry coming on HMSTR versus Tether on a sell that will flock at 3 a.m. as well. So we'll keep those in queue. Still have a little over 2 minutes left to go for TradingView to get through all the other assets to see if we have some other opportunities in queue. But again, these will mark themselves off at 3 a.m. sharp. We'll get into that. Now, I should note that 3 a.m. is a 4-hour candle for the crypto market. If you're not aware, the crypto market is from 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time every day. So 3 a.m. is a 4-hour candle for the crypto market. It's 1 hour off from the rest of the market. Which may be when we see the inkling of what I'm thinking we're going to see, which is a sell-off. And we'll get another 4-hour candle at 7 a.m., which is 30 minutes before pre-market trading in New York. We should get a better clue of direction here soon. My prediction based off of what I'm seeing right now, it's about to be a bloodbath today. And it's going to continue over the weekend. This isn't real. All right, looks like we've got more ratings till 3 a.m. Central Standard Time. Good time to grab a restroom break, grab something to drink, maybe a nice snack. Be back at it in less than 12 minutes. In the meantime, I'm looking at the effect of this on the entire book, and what I'm seeing is a slow drip of sales across the book of business. Very subtle. At least from what I'm looking at, it's enough of effect to change about $6,000 worth of margin. Of course, that's leveraged margin, so it's a nice chunk of change. A huge shout out to my brother from another mother, roommate. I see that he's listening from the motherland right now. Cheers. I'm going to put myself on mute while we wait. That way you guys don't have to hear me yawning because I am still sleepy. So I was just taking a look at the TDI and a couple of other indicators that I use for extra confirmations. And everything I'm looking at shows that there should be no reason why cryptocurrency is going up. Literally, everything is pointing to the south. This feels like a rug pull waiting to happen. So I'm begging you, unless you have like some type of clear indication that you're going to get in and out of the market very, very fast, don't go long right now. If you do, I promise you, you will lose your ass. And to be quite honest, I wouldn't even just hop into anything blind going south. Just wait for a confirmation. Nothing's really moving right now. It's just a slow drip of things kind of selling off. It's not moving very fast at all. It's almost imperceptible unless you are using a trading platform. Just the way computers do things. And we haven't realized it by now, about 85% of the market activity is done by computers. It's not human beings you're working against. Now, here's the cool thing about trading against computers. They have rules because they have to be programmed in certain ways. So you have telltale signs of when computers are doing things. A good example is on the announcement of President Trump against the People's Republic of China. That day, Bitcoin dropped to exactly 102,000. It is nigh mathematically impossible for retail traders to get Bitcoin to stop at an even number. That's how you know it was a computer-driven, institutional-driven move. When you're looking at assets move really, really large ways or in really large amounts, and it stops at a very even amount, that's a liquidity pool. That's how they show themselves up. Another way that you can see it is that moves stop at a pivot. Let's go to Bitcoin and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. We're going to go up to the daily. I'm going to make this small enough for you to see. Pay very close attention to the chart. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on pivots. Notice P is equilibrium. The 50 EMA stays around that mark. It's right there right now. Here's the all-time high for Bitcoin at 126 and change. You have R1, which is one standard deviation away from market equilibrium, sitting at 123.20509. Price barely broke it. It did it again here. What happens with pivots is the theory is it goes from color to color. So if price was at R1, it normally goes back down to S1. Guess what just happened? Just that. It broke S1 at 99,546 and got down to 98,994.36. Price is going to start making its way back up to 123. If you look to the left, you see it happen again. Here it crested. Here was below the price. So it hit S1 and went up to R1. It came down and went back up to S1. Then it dipped, to R1. Then it dipped to S1. Now it's slowly going to make its way up. But what I think is more likely to happen, and you can see this because of the space of the EMAs between the 5 and the 13 on the daily, is that price is going to get up and it's going to dump off further. The bottom's going to fall out of Bitcoin. You're going to have free fall down to S2, which is around 88,402. That's when I think it's going to stop. And now you have a climb to a new all-time high around 136,800. So now we're going to be playing with a wider range of movement of Bitcoin on the daily. It's going to break out of this malaise that it's been in for quite some time and give us more volatility. Now, there is one missing piece of the three pieces of legislation that we're supposed to deal with crypto regulation in the United States. That's the Clarity Act. That's the one they haven't passed yet. It was due to be passed this month, but they closed the freaking federal government. When that passes, you're going to have three things that are going to be happening to the United States dollar versus cryptocurrencies. Number one, it's going to be legal for banks to allow customers to deposit money directly into their bank accounts as cash or to hold cryptocurrencies alongside those cash. Number two, it's going to be legal for banks to allow you to freely transact between cryptocurrency or fiat cash, or to use both at the same time. Number three, and this is what they don't talk about, is going to allow banks to securitize. In other words, in the United States, we have what's called a fractional banking system. As a matter of fact, in most countries, they have it. In a fractional banking system, if you take $10,000 and you deposit it into the account, your money's no longer there at that point. The bank has already turned that money into loans, but they can flip that same $10,000 up to 10 times. So you deposit $10,000 in the account, which allows the bank to borrow up to $100,000 off that $10,000. So they've created money out of nothing. They get that money paid back to them with interest. And that's just with fiat money, which means a dollar, a Canadian dollar, an Australian dollar. Once all three of these pieces of legislation are passed, what it's going to allow them to do is securitize that debt. So now you deposit $10,000 into your account. Then the bank can borrow that up to 10 times for $100,000. But then they can securitize those loans another 10 times. So now they can turn $10,000 into $1 million. So there's going to be so much money flowing around in the economy. Well, what happens when you have more of a currency flowing around? Inflation, which means that your buying power declines, at least in the short term. And if things are worth less, what happens? Well, their value decreases. So we're reaching a point where institutionally, yes, banks will allow us to do better things with cryptocurrencies, but it's going to tank the value of a lot of cryptocurrencies in the market. So what you're going to see once this is really set up is a rapid evaporation of a lot of altcoins that go to zero and go defunct, while money is flowing, led by whales and led by institutional actors, into the coins of their choice. I think right now there's somewhere around the magnitude of around 30 to 40,000 really somewhat useful cryptocurrencies that have liquidity in them. I think the end game is you're probably going to see less than a couple of thousand of those that survive. And of those, maybe 10 to 15 of them will have true utility. Because Bitcoin in and of itself is just a tech stack for cryptocurrencies. Yes, it has a lot of liquidity, but it really doesn't have a use other than the fact that it has an economic theory behind it. There's only ever going to be 21 million coins that are produced. You can't really use Bitcoin as gas because you don't want to dilute the amount of Bitcoins that are there. You really don't want to use a coin that has a big supply as gas to pump up other coins, which is why people favor Ethereum. But you do want to have a coin that has a large supply to fuel things like banking and finance, which is why when you look at Japan and Southeast Asia, you see them adopting XRPL. Why? Because XRP is very low in price. There's a huge amount of coins, and the tech is mature. The current financial system is the United States controls what's called the SWIFT system. This is the primary way that banks can instantly transfer money back and forth. Because of that, and the fact that the United States dollar is the world's reserve currency, it gives the United States of America incredible power to sanction other countries to get them to comply. You would think that BRICS, which is, I guess, for all intents and purposes, the second largest block of countries with fiat currencies, is going to be a threat to the US dollar. It isn't, and it will never be. The greatest threat to the US dollar is going to be the inability of the United States government to basically be a leader in cryptocurrency, which is why we're moving very quickly to get regulation now. Because what you're going to see is an instance where stable coins are going to be used as a proxy instead of sovereign countries to buy US sovereign debt. And I believe the long play is the United States is going to utilize cryptocurrency to get rid of its sovereign debt. Think about it. If you're applying money via cryptocurrencies into US bonds and bills, and then that appreciates over time, after you've already inflated the value of the US dollar, and then cryptocurrency, which is supported by the US dollar, goes up in value, almost exponentially, you can get rid of $37 trillion worth of debt in a matter of a decade. Now imagine a United States that has no debt, but still has the control of the world's reserve currency. Total economic dominance. That's where we're headed. And there's not another country on earth that's even close to what we can do at this point. But they got to move quick because we do have so much debt. If they don't do it quickly, then you may end up having a stagnation effect on the US dollar, where the dollar won't be able to really be moved. Hold on. What time is it? It's 3:09. We didn't get anything at 3 a.m. As a matter of fact, we did. So hold on. We've got a call on German 30. It's a short. Well, we're going long on German 30. It's just pivots. So you go to indicators and you type in pivots. It's your pivots standard. So we're not going to get into this because we're long on German 30. And we have a short on TA versus Tether. Long term is a downtrend, so we'll take that. It's on the 30 minutes, so it won't mark off until 3:30. Let's go back to Tron. We do have Tron on the 30 minute, targeting 28.39. I believe we had a 60 minute on Tron not too long ago. So let's go ahead and get this called out. So from current price, targeting 0.2839. We're going to move the stop right above the previous candles. All right, so this is TRX on a 15-minute sell. The risk is 3.12. Your entry is 28.64. Your stop is 28.72. That's for 8 pips. And your take profit is 28.39. And that's for 25 pips. A little small snack, but hey, a win is a win. All right, here's your next call. This is Tron versus Tether on a 15-minute confirmation. Your entry is 0.2864. Your stop is 0.2872 for 8 pips. Your take profit is 0.2839 for 25 pips and a risk of 3.12. And then for those of you watching on Twitch, I am posting that now. Not Twitch, on Twitter. Let me go ahead and grab that. That's TRX. $0.2839. Okay, that's done there. Let's move on. We got HMSTR. This is targeting 000306. It's going to be a 3.4 risk. And this is also a 15-minute confirmation. HMSTR. And risk is 3.4. We got an entry at 323. We got stop at 328. We got take profit at 306. Yeah, very small move, but we'll take our money. And here's your next move. Got HMSTR versus Tether. Then you have an entry at 0.000323. Stop loss at 0.000328. And take profit at 0.000306 for 17 pips. Risk reward is 3.40. And I need to get into this trade. 1 second. HMSTR. And it's 306. All right, I'm in. And we got a 15-minute wait on TA. It's now 3:15 in the morning. I don't see any immediate signals yet. We'll know in about 2.5 minutes whether we get anything for this ticker. Otherwise, we're waiting for 3:30. In the meantime, we're going to go back to looking at XRP because that's the crypto that's the most in profit for us. Tracking it on the 30-minute, which is the first confirmation we have. We also have a 60-minute call on this same currency that's in play as well. We have the same thing for the spot. on the 30-minute and the spot on the hour. Here we go. Still more of a slow drip. Check this out. Remember, we were just looking at crypto bubbles and we were showing all that money in the last hour going into IAA. They stopped. So they pumped that coin 72% today. And now you're starting to see money coming out of it. So they pumped it and now they're taking their money out. It's up 594%. And now they're starting to take their money. This week it's up 1,100%. To a lesser extent, they did the same thing for ICP, Dash, and DCR, and Zcash. But when you go and you look at the last hour or so, money's coming out of these altcoins. Remember, the money precedes the activity. This is the year. Look where the money is going. Notice what you don't see. You don't see Bitcoin. You don't see Ethereum. You do see Ripple. This is for the day. Now notice, the market cap for Bitcoin is massive. Same thing with Ethereum. Some money flowed out of Bitcoin, went into Ethereum. Money's gone out of Ethereum that's used as gas to purchase altcoins. Look at all these small green bubbles. They're spreading that money around. Tether hasn't moved. If you have physical cryptocurrency, don't let them shake you out of the market. Don't lose your conviction. find cryptocurrencies or at least altcoins that have a use case and utility and decent liquidity and buy and hold and wait. I literally remember 5 years ago looking at Shiba Inu at a training session that was offsite at someone's house where we were teaching them how to trade Forex currency and cryptocurrency. And I put up Shiba Inu on the screen, showed them just an example of liquidity. And at the time, Shiba Inu was trading at 0.10 And over the course of those next few years, it grew 16.5 million%. Imagine being at that training session and doing what I asked people to do. Just take $500, dump it into Shiba Inu, and forget about it. Every person in that room would be worth at least 170 million right now. Could have sold Shiba Inu and lived off the interest of that money for the rest of their lives and been good. Okay, so I'm still looking at the effect on the book. It's approaching about $10,000 in extra margin. Matter of fact, it just did it. Like I said, it's a slow drip of sales. So obviously nothing from 3:15. I think we have 3 calls for the night, so it's going to be a slow night, which is fine. About 5 minutes left to the middle of the hour, 3:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And notice we've parked on Ripple, so you're starting to see evidence of what I've been telling you guys about since the start of our session tonight. You see prices starting to move out of consolidation, selling off. They don't want to alarm anyone because they're depending on people not paying attention. But the money starts to move and then the price starts to move. We're going to see this stuff all start turning red. And because they know that people are stupid enough to only pay attention to Bitcoin while everything else around it is moving. And just like that, we're now at $11,000 of additional margin in our trade book. Still a slow drip, but it's starting to speed up. Mhm. 2 minutes left to go to the middle of the hour. Peter, I hope that answered your question for pivots. You just, again, if you're in trading view, you click on indicator. It's kind of in the middle of the top of your bar. In the search bar, just type in pivots. And the very first one is pivots point standard. That's the one I'm using. All right. Dings, dings, dings. 3:30. 16 signals. 17 signals. Told you that 3-hour candle. I mean, a 4-hour candle. So got a lot of action. Hold on to your britches. Let's see what we got here. Got TA versus Tether. Got a sell to 28.38. Go ahead and hop into this trade ahead of marking out the stuff. TA, USDT. $0.2838. So another short. And here we go. Grab the parameters for this. Say 30-minute sell. And we got a risk of 5.87. Entry at 40.94. Stop at 43.08. Got take profit at 28.38. What's happening, Chilla? All right, check it out. We got TA versus Tether. It's a 30-minute sell. Entry price is 0.04094. Take profit is 0.04308 for 214 pips. Take profit is 0.02838 for 1,256 pips. Risk to reward ratio is 5.87. Next up, we've got TIA versus Tether. That won't mark itself off to 345. The same. Same. So we got a lot of 15-minute shorts that won't mark off until 345. That's fine. Looks like we've got 16 of them. Except for that one. So 15 of them. Trump is showing as a sell. That's definitely not a sell. Okay, so we've got 14 signals coming in about 15 minutes. It looks like I'm getting my wish, and we're going to have a pretty nice end to our session for London. 2 more tickers. Well, yeah, 3:45 and 4 a.m. Let's get after it. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. So correction, 15 signals come in at 3:45. You're very welcome, Peter. Anytime. By the way, while I have you guys' attention, if you haven't already done so, would appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on those notifications to come abreast of when I do go live in the market. That's regardless of whether you're watching on any platform. That is currently YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Nemo TV, Kick, Apple TV, and iHeartRadio. Cheers to all of you. In terms of when I do go live, that is every morning at 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. for the London session. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then for New York at the opening bell at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, going to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's the closing bell of the London Stock Exchange. Also Monday through Friday. You can find me on various platforms: YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Kick. All is the Pit Messiah. And you can plug in there. I'm going to drop the link to my private Signals chat because I do call Signals 24/7. It's not just when I'm live. Welcome to join that. It's on Telegram. If you are on your phone, you'll need to enter your phone number as two-factor authentication, and then that'll get you into the trading group. It is free of charge. I don't pay behind a pay gate for any of that stuff. If you're on a computer, it's the same thing. Enter your phone number, and it enters you into the trading chat on your computer. One sec, let me grab that for you guys. So for Twitter, I just posted the link, and then for everyone else, here's the link for you guys. So obviously cryptocurrency trades 24/7. So even on the weekends, I'm calling signals to the extent that we get ones that are valid. We make money every day if we can. Right, coming up on 3 minutes left to go to the quarter of the hour, 3:45 a.m., in which case we'll hop straight into these other signals that we have. Again, 15 of them are coming in less than 3 minutes. Bitcoin has now gone negative for the day. And we're going to start to see the rest of the market go red along with it. If we're here long enough, notice all this stuff was deeply green. And I told you it was a false flag, and it was. That's why we don't get froggy. Do not enter the market blindly. have a confirmation of some sort. It's one of the three errors that most retail traders make. You constantly want to be in the market. You enter anything just off of your feelings, and you're not paying attention to really what's going on. You're dealing with crypto. It's real simple. Follow the money. Everything is public. It's almost like a cheat code. If you can't follow the money, don't enter the market. Or link up with someone like myself that knows what the hell they're looking at. And trust me, this is hard fought and won. I've been trading for 12 years. So this is not, it was not easy to get to the point where I am now. Okay, so we are now up to $17,000 of additional margin since the start of today's session at 2 a.m. It's cooking. So barring the extraordinary, I do expect a nice chunk of profit over the next few days. All right, 3:45 it is. Let's go back to these calls. Hold on, there's even more. Nice. Okay. I mean, those obviously aren't immediate. We got Tia on a sale to 789. Pardon the dings. I told you guys every 15 minutes, so it's going to start to get real jumpy out here. All right, we're going to move closer to current price. So we're going to take a full risk. This is Tia. All right, targeting 789. Let me go ahead and enter the trade myself. This is 0.789 on the short. Done. Now let's grab these parameters. TI versus Tether. This is a 15-minute sell. Risk is 4.00. You got an entry at 833. You got stop at 844. We got take profit at 789. All right, I just posted it for Twitter. Here it is for everyone else. We got TIA versus USDT. Entry at 0.833. Stop loss is 0.844 for 11 pips. Take profit is 0.789 for 44 pips. And a risk reward ratio of 4. Moving on. Got WLD. Oops. Is that on our list? It is. Here we have a sell to 680. Get a bit of that real quick. All right. It's also a 15-minute sell. Risk is 3.69. Entry at 739. Stop at 755. And take profit at 0.68. Here you go for Twitter. And for everyone else, WLD versus Tether. Entry price is 0.739. Stop loss is 0.755 for 16 pips. Take profit is 0.680 for 59 pips. Risk reward ratio is 3.69. Next up, we got CRV, also on our list. This time it's a short to 40.69. Go ahead and enter this myself. All right, here we go. And this time it's CRV versus Tether. Risk is 3.29. Entry at 43.45. Stop at 44.29. And take profit of 40.69. And here's the call for Twitter. And the call for everyone else. CRV versus Tether. Entry price is 0.4345. Stop loss is 0.4429 for 84 pips. Take profit is 0.4069 for 276 pips. And a risk to reward ratio of 3.29. Let's move on. We got Woo versus Tether. Targeting 0.308. Short and stop. Yeah, this myself. What is that? 308. Uh, 0.0308. It's another short. Here we go. We've got Woo versus Tether. And we got a 4.0 risk. Entry at 324. Stop at 328. Entry, exit at 308. And here's the call for Twitter. And for everyone else. Woo versus Tether. Entry is 0.0324. Stop loss is 0.0328 for 4 pips. Take profit is 0.0308 for 16 pips. Risk to reward ratio of 4. Moving on. We got Dent versus Tether. A sell to 000371. Set on our sell list. Yes. Groovy. And this is going to be a 3.5 risk. Got entry at 392. Stop at 398. And take profit at 371. And here's your call for Twitter. For everyone else, we got Dent versus Tether. Entry is 0.000392. Stop loss is 0.000398 for 6 pips. Take profit is 0.000371 for 21 pips. The risk is 3.50. Moving on. We got Pump versus Tether. Targeting 003482. Huh? The maximum order is 610,000 pump. Okay. My broker wouldn't let me take advantage of it. That's not fun. That's fine. Pump. And 4.68 risk. We got entry at 003763. Got stop at 3823. And we've got take profit at 3042. And here's your call for Twitter. And for everyone else. Pump versus Tether. Entry price is 0.003763. Stop loss is 0.003823 for 60 pips. Take profit is 0.003482 for 281 pips. The risk reward ratio is 4.68. Moving on. Got STX versus Tether, targeting 3551. X 3.22 risk. Entry at 37.44. Stop at 38.04. And take profit at 35.51. All right, here's the call for Twitter and for everyone else. STX versus Tether, entry price is 0.374. Stop loss is 0.3804 for 60 pips. Take profit is 0.393 pips, with reward ratio of 3.22. We're getting more action, which is fine. It's now 4 a.m. Let's go ahead and at least clear out what we have. We have Shiba Inu targeting 887. All right. Risk is 3.14. Entry is 931. Stop is 945. And target is 887. And here's the call for Twitter. And the call for everyone else. We've got SHIB versus Tether. Entry price is 50931. Stop loss is 0.50945 for 14 pips. And take profit is 0.50887 for 44 pips. The risk is 3.14. And we've got Cato versus Tether. Target 8053. Let me hop into this real quick. All right. And risk is 3.91. Entry at 8636. Stop at 8785. And take profit at 8053. right, here's your call for Twitter. And here's your call for everyone else. Got Cato versus Tether. Entry price is 0.8636. Stop loss is 0.8785 for 149 pips. Take profit is 0.8053 for 583 pips. And a risk to reward ratio of 3.91. Next up, we got Sign versus Tether, targeting 35.45. Up into that. All right, here we go. Sign. Risk is 3.41. You got entry at 38.21. You got stop at 39.02. And we got take profit at 35.45. Perfect. All right, your call for Twitter. And your call for everyone else. Sign versus Tether. Entry price is 0.03821. Stop loss is 0.03902 for 81 pips. Take profit is 0.03545 for 276 pips. Risk reward ratio is 3.41. Again, that's Sign versus Tether. All right, we got Striker versus Tether, targeting 1035. So 2.93 is the risk. Entry at 1114. Stop at 1141. And take profit at 1035. All right, the call for Twitter. And the call for everyone else. Oops. Sorry, I screwed that up, didn't I? Ignore that. I haven't even done a darn trade yet. I'm tripping. Yeah, let me get rid of that one on YouTube. 1 second. A little bit of housekeeping. All right, got that fixed. Now that's 1 and 2. Very rarely make that mistake. STRK. It's going to be 2.93 risk. Oh, hold on. Did I get it right? I just put on the wrong thing? I did. That's what it was. I just need to slow myself down. Sorry about that, guys. This is STRK. Which means that I also screwed it up on Twitter. So I'll have to fix that too. Because I called this twice. So let me get rid of that one. Oh, is that correct? All right, I corrected it on Twitter. It's Striker for everyone else. Striker versus Tether. A entry price is 0.1114. Stop loss is 0.1141 for 27 pips. Take profit is 0.1035 for 79 pips. The risk to reward ratio is 2.93. There we go. All right, so we have CFX versus Tether targeting 875. All right, here we go. Let's go to CFX. And entry is 916. Stop is 932. And take profit is 875. That's a call for Twitter. And a call for everyone else. Got CFX versus Tether. Entry price is 0.0916. Stop loss is 0.0932 for 16 pips. Take profit is 0.0875 for 41 pips. The risk reward ratio is 2.56. Moving on, we got Axel versus Tether, targeting 14.99. And we got more AXL. And this is 2.91 risk. Entry at 1601. Stop is at 1636. And take profit at 14.99. The next call. All right, we got Axel versus Tether. Entry price is 0.1601. Stop loss is 0.1636 for 35 pips. Take profit is 0.1499 for 102 pips, which the reward ratio is 2.91. Next up, we have One versus Tether, targeting 438. And 4.3. Entries at 537. Stop is at 560. That's 23 pips. Take profit at 438. And here's the call for Twitter. Call for everyone else. One versus Tether. Entry price is 0.00537. Stop loss is 0.00560 for 23 pips. Take profit is 0.00438 for 99 pips. Risk to reward ratio of 4.30. Next up, we have FXX versus Tether, targeting 1.097. Risk is 3.76. Got an entry at 1.176. Got stop at 1.197. And we got take profit at 1.097. And the call for Twitter. and for everyone else. FXX versus Tether. Entry is 1.176. Stop is 1.197 for 21 pips. Take profit is 1.097 for 79 pips. Risk reward ratio is 3.76. And EuroCAD has already moved on us, so we won't be entering that. Euro odd, let's see if that's on the buy list. It is not, so we won't be entering that trade. We've got Cookie versus Tether. Targeting 625. Here we got 0.0690. And stop at 705. And take profit is 625. And for Twitter and everyone else. Cookie versus Tether. Entry price is 0.0690. Stop loss is 0.0705 for 15 pips. Take profit is 0.0625 for 65 pips. Risk reward ratio is 4.33. Cookie. Boom. All right, we have Algo. I don't even know if that's on the sell list. It is. All right, targeting 1561. This is Algorand versus Tether. All right, here we go. Oops. All right, that's Algo. Risk is 3.03. You got entry at 1652. You got stop at 1682. You got take profit at 1561. All right. right, here's the call for Twitter. Here's the call for everything else. Algorand versus Tether. Entry price is 0.1652. Stop loss is 0.1682 for 30 pips. Take profit is 0.1561 for 91 pips. The risk reward ratio is 3.03. Again, that's Algorand versus Tether. All right, we got an Avalanche versus Tether. Targeting 1564. 1574, sorry. 15.74. We have it at AVAX. $15.74. All right. AVAX. Risk is 3.36. Got an entry at 1668. Got a stop at 1696. And we got to take profit at 1574. All right, the call for Twitter. Call for everyone else. Got AVAX versus Tether. The entry price is 16.68. The stop loss is 16.96 for 28 pips. Take profit is 15.74 for 94 pips. And the risk reward ratio is 3.36. And that's Avalanche versus Tether. Got Init versus Tether, targeting 1135. And the risk is 3.52. We got entry at 1216. Got stop at 1239. And we got to take profit at 1135. Oh, great. All right, the call for Twitter. Init versus Tether. Entry price is 0.1216. Stop loss is 0.1239 for 23 pips. Take profit is 0.1135 for 81 pips. Risk reward ratio of 3.52. Yeah. It's a coming. All right. YGG versus Tether. Targeting 994. Freaking avalanche of money. All right. We got a 3.59 risk. Entries at 1073. Stop is at 1095. Profits at 994. All right, YGG versus Tether. Entry price is 0.1073. Stop loss is 0.1095 for 22 pips. Take profit is 0.0994 for 79 pips. The risk to reward ratio is 3.59. A few more to go to get caught up. Got ACH versus Tether targeting 1062. Okay. ACH. Risk is 3.06. Entry at 1117. Stop at 1135. And take profit at 1062. All right, here we go. We got ACH versus Tether. Entry price is 0.017. Stop loss is 0.01135 for 18 pips. And take profit is 0.01062 for 55 pips. Risk to reward ratio of 3.06. Moving on, we got the French 40 on a sale, but Not taking that. It's on a buy list for the week. Got POL versus Tether targeting 1614. All right, 3.22 risk. Entry at 1701. Stop at 1728. And take profit at 1614. Yes, I hear the angry beeping. POL versus Tether. Entry price is 0.1701. Stop loss is 0.1728 for 27 pips. Take profit is 0.1640 for 87 pips. Risk reward ratio is 3.22. That's POL versus Tether. And EDU versus Tether has already moved on us, so we're not going to take that. Got TRB versus Tether targeting 2172. 2172. Need to see that's on our sell list. Hold on. I want to get ahead of myself. And it is not, so we actually won't be taking TRB. We have NOT versus Tether. That is on our list, targeting 640. And 2.94. And your entry is going to be at 687. Stops at 703. Six four zero. All right, NOT versus Tether. Entry price is 0.000687. Stop loss is 0.000703 for 16 pips. Take profit is 0.000640 for 47 pips. Risk to reward is 2.94. INJ on our list. Yes. This time targeting is 6.24. $6.73. Stop at 6.89. And take profit is 6.24. 49. Next call. INJ versus Tether. Entry price is 6.73. Stop loss is 6.89 for 16 pips. Take profit is 6.24 for 49 pips. The risk is 3.06. And we have CVX. This time targeting 1.726. CVX. All right. And entry is 1.86. Risk is 4.62. Stop is 1.889. And 1.726. All right, CVX versus Tether. Entry is 1.86. Stop is 1.88. Take profit is 1.726 for 134 pips. and a risk of 4.62. And with that, we're all caught up. There's a number of other calls, but I need to get some rest ahead of the New York session, so we're going to let these bake. Some of them haven't been marked off yet, but certainly we'll get opportunities to enter these. So I'll call these out for New York. We're already in some of these, so I'll go through and sweep the ones that we're already in, because obviously we're not going to enter them twice. And TRX. It's a crap ton of signals. Here. All right, so New York is going to have a hell of a lot of action, I'll tell you that. All right, so we're done for the evening. I'll see you guys at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time for New York. That'll be our last session for the week. Have a great evening. If you haven't already done so, please just drop a follow on whatever platform you're watching on. And I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.